Dylan Leary won the lag and we'll get underway. Same format as yesterday. We're going to be playing races to 8 with a 50-minute match clock. First man to 8 wins, or if the score gets down, if the match clock gets down to 0, the score is the score. If the scores are tied at that point, we would go to a 6-red shootout. We only saw one match yesterday where time was really a factor. That was the one with Shane Thompson against Ben Doyle, or at least a factor in the sense of determining the numerical score.
Is it me, or these players seem to be getting better at just running out finishes? Because it just seems to me it's been endless. I mean, you know, you've got young Cohen Bradford's gone out there and he's clearing up everywhere, and you know, the 3 or 4 of the matches yesterday were just finish after finish. You know, a dry break's been punished every time.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, and it wasn't actually a fantastic day for breaking, I wouldn't say. Like, a lot of people did go dry, but it seemed like as soon as they did, their opponent was straight in and reverse clearing. And there were a lot of good, difficult clearances as well. It seemed like because a few people were struggling with the break, not many people were getting left real tap-ins. A lot of people were having to work for their finishes. The fact that all the matches have been finishing before the 50 minutes as well tells its own story. Quality of play, people aren't getting involved in scrappy games.
Well, it was Christophe Lambert, Jordan Shepherd, wasn't it? I mean, that was 8-6, and I think they had about 8 minutes left of the match when it finished. And that's incredible, 14 frames. I think they were averaging about just over 3 minutes a frame.
Yeah, that was a match where nobody deserved to lose. Christophe pushed Jordan all the way. Jordan's had a really difficult draw, then straight back into action. Came through another nail biter to book his place in the last 16. Jordan's next match after the Christophe Lambert one was Craig Waddingham. How'd you like that for a draw?
Dylan, would I like to come a couple more ball widths down there, just onto that yellow?
Yeah, if anything, the only good thing is that he's so short of the ideal position. He's got a lot of angle, which makes it well.
I don't think he likes that.
No, well, rightly not.
Why did he put left-hand side in it? Sorry, right-hand side, should I say?
I was about to say, the fact he's got a lot of angle means he's got a lot of space to play with, but he's got into the ball too much. Must have been a bit of unwanted side. He's obviously trying to play off the bottom cushion and back up the right-hand side. This was never going to be a good outcome. There was no good leave from where these red balls are positioned. It's a frustrating thing to do in any match, but when you're playing the #1 ranked player and the man that's won more Ultimate Pool titles than anyone else, you've just got to get off to a good start.
Yeah, it's very un-Dylan-like. It was just, like I say, a couple of ball rolls onto the last yellow, but even then you'd never think he was going to snooker himself.
No, I mean, it seemed like he had plenty of space. He could either have gone round the back of those balls, played for the opposite corner, or just screwed up and down the right-hand side. Good effort there from Tom. Just didn't want to play that cannon too hard. Ultimately, he's ended up not hitting it quite hard enough, but the 8 ball does pot to the centre, so no real harm done. We said a brief good morning to Tom as he arrived, and he was saying he was going to get 5 or 10 minutes out on the practice table before this match. Looked customarily relaxed as he strode into the venue this morning.
Never looks anything else.
This is just such a nice warm-up position as well. Probably so even easier than the practice that he would have had.
Do you reckon the little fall over there by Leary is the Cousins effect?
Yeah, I think for that shot it was a kind of not being warmed up, just not quite found your touch, because you just seem to get some unwanted side. I think the Cousins effect is a very real thing, though.
It is.
We may see that in the course of today. the fact that he's been such a dominant player and the fact that he clears up so relentlessly, people do start throwing in mistakes that they wouldn't against any other opponent. Not very often you see 2 dry breaks in a row from Tom. Not very often, but it seems like we might. Tom's not been alone in this. No players have been finding this table that easy this weekend. The cloth has been on there for a little while and maybe it's just got a little bit threadbare, not quite as reactive as it sometimes is. Not that it's necessarily a bad thing. There have been moments when this table has been quite easy to break on and perhaps that's taken a degree of skill out of it. Oh, didn't want that yellow going over near the break line on the left hand side. Look like this might be another chance for one of those big Dylan clearances that we've seen him attempt in the previous few frames, but now the position of that yellow, red and black tied up on the left, not easy to see where a finish would come from. Easy to see where a finish would come from if he misses that ball.
Yeah, the old buzzer there sort of hurried Dylan a bit and it looks a bit rushed. Do worry it might sort of unravel a bit now for Dylan. Tom's going to use his extension. Long yellow down into the bottom left hand corner for Cousins. That's not going in. Not only that, it's made the other yellow worse at the bottom of the table as well, so that does sort of lend itself to letting Dylan know that there's going to be no easy finish should he fluff his lines here.
Really can't afford any more errors. If he'd been playing badly the whole way through, it would almost be easy to understand, but it's the fact that he's played so many good shots that makes the misses seem even more jarring.
Yeah, it's something I've never seen from Dylan, and I've seen Dylan play a lot. Obviously, I play on the seniors tour, so you know he's always there at the bitter end. You know, he's won like 2 in a row, and you know, and it's obviously good to watch mini-series. I've been on the comms when he's won that, so it's very unusual to see him miss anything. To be fair, especially some of the balls he's missed, which have been by Dylan's standard, you know, they're fairly straightforward.
Yeah, well that's the thing, it's like he's done the hard work and then missed at the end. He's got a decent angle here, just looking at how he wants to play the cannon on the ball on the right cushion. It's okay. Could have tried to play fuller and develop it for the opposite middle, trying to play a fairly delicate shot.
Well, it's making this ball and getting on the last red. That's close. It's not going to have the legs.
Yeah, had to play it in a delicate way just to hold.
You just rub the cloth there, you saw the red sort of tickle away from the bag as you got there. Might be a bit of chalk or blemish on the cloth there.
It was the pace though, wasn't it? If you just play it a bit firmer, and I understand why he didn't, because he wouldn't have been able to hold the position, but you always risk the ball just drifting slightly offline if you play it that slowly. And now, similar situation, albeit a more difficult one for Tom from the one he's had 3 times already in this match. This time he's got an openish table, but he has got a bit of work to do. Going to find some route into the 2 yellows nearest the corner pocket at some stage.
on from now. Cue ball. Oh. But what has he left?
Well, the cue ball going down would have been effectively an immediate loss of frame because it would have been an easy clearance.
For me, you've got to play loss of turn here. Now, whether he could skim off that yellow and play the cue ball long and knock the red in, I don't think he can. I think he'll have to cut this yellow that he's nearest to very thinly and knock the red in over the bag and send the cue ball towards where the black is. Obviously, not don't want to knock the black in, but well, lost the cue ball there. The shot was the correct one.
Yeah, played it well apart from the cue ball. And that's an even worse outcome than the cue ball going in on the last shot, because now this is unmissable, you would say, had you not watched Dylan miss at the end of a few previous frames.
No, he's not going to miss this.
This is what he needed though. He kind of needed a really unmissable chance just to be absolutely sure. No mistake this time from Dylan Leary. A match that he should have been at least 4-2 up himself. He finds himself 4-2 down with only 9 minutes remaining. Like 1 or 2 frames could settle the match. And Tom's come up dry again.
Ooh.
It's the 3rd time this match.
Yeah, he's not going to be happy with his breaks at the moment, Tom Cousins. 2 he has made a ball, he's finished off both of them. But this is such a big chance here for Leary to level the match.
Yeah, I mean this is the moment. This is going to define how this match turns out. Dylan can't afford to let Tom off the hook here. Just needs to get this done in one clean kill, keep Tom away from the table.
Has an extension still in his frame, Dylan, and it might be wise to use it now.
It's been a slight Achilles heel, hasn't it? Just 1 or 2 positional shots that haven't been pinpoint accurate.
Still got the yellow in his bottom right hand corner, he needs to punch this in. Right. It's all about the position onto the last yellow. If you can get the cue ball just on the blue spot and have it in the middle. It's coming wide. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's a good shot. He'd ideally have come narrow, but you didn't quite have the angle, so committed to this.
Well, this black ball, and Leary looks very impressive under the 15 seconds of the shot. And this to level it, 5 each.
Well, what a game this has been. It's been very hard to predict what's going to happen at any moment. Dylan obviously would love a good break here because then he'll have first chance. What he doesn't want is to split the balls up well and come up dry.
Made a ball and cue ball right in the middle of the table as well, which is ideal.
Oh, this is good.
Reds.
This is a good layout.
Reds of the ball. That's perfect. Just want to run them in too quickly because if he wants to get the finish and then leave as little time as possible for Tom Cousins.
Yeah, I think it's in his interest to take the full 15 seconds.
Nothing Top Cat can do about it. Rolls through the gap here.
Should just about be able to kill the match here. I think he should be able
Just
to
want
take
to
long
screw back
enough.
a bit and play the one in the middle. Leave the ball. Oh, he's come too far. He wanted just to be straight, just to roll it in and then be right behind the red on the rail. Dribbles that down and the black's in the centre. He's just screwed it too far.
He might have to play the red long. Oh, he's cannoned it.
Well, it goes in the bottom corner.
This ball effectively for the match.
He has an extension still, Leary. I think I'd use it.
You should absolutely call the extension here because Yeah, he's done the right thing, because then there's a chance Tom won't have time for a counter clearance even if Dylan misses.
Yeah, this is the thing. Although Tom's very quick through the balls anyway when he wants to be.
He's missed.
He's missed it.
Tom's going to bound to the table, and he's got time for a counter clearance here.
Well, this is incredible.
50 seconds remaining on the match clock. 6 balls to be potted from Cousins.
Oh, where's he landed? Oh my word.
He's got to pull out a long one. This match could be going to a 6-road shootout.
Could be going anywhere. That's a massive pot there from Cousins. Oh, what's it? Hello. We're having a gallop.
Time for the buzzer beater still.
All because of Leary not getting straight on that ball in the middle. Leary would have been home and hosed. He's right in front of the clock, Thompson. He knows exactly what he's got. He just needs to make sure with his pot. Oh my word.
Oh, the match clock's frozen at the wrong moment, but there is time. Tom Cousins wins the match 7-6.
Incredible.
Dylan saying that the match clock has disappeared. There is in fact time still to play, but it's kind of irrelevant because there isn't time to complete a frame. That's incredible. Dylan Leary was in first in so many frames in that match. He had chance after chance, and even after the early disappointment he fought his way back into it.
This promises to be fast and furious. Cracking break there from Ian Ali. Immediately he'll be looking at the yellows.
Ian Ali had a pretty tough match as well last night, coming through against young Cohen Bradford.
Well, that was it. I was referring to that, the final frame decider against the phenomenal 15-year-old who's really lit up the arena this weekend, isn't he?
Yeah, it was a proper game of pool, that one. They both played some good stuff. These two players are both quite similar in that when you watch them play, they're both great players, and you kind of fancy that they'd be a tournament winner in a lot of events that they enter. Jordan's probably had a little bit more tournament success than Ian, but Ian's well known for big money matches. Great pressure player.
We showed that last night when he 7-0 with Cohen Bradford. Had to have a breaking out there to finally dispatch the 15-year-old, but then he was under it, really was under it. I was out there watching. You were here on comms with Stephen, and well, I was out there with Cohen's dad Paul.
Yeah, but he was going through it. It's much harder to watch it than play it.
He was. He must be very proud of his son being so good at such a young age. I mean, I said before, he's got a bright future ahead of him. Great shot there from Ali. Had to put a lot of side on there just to get back off that rail. Gonna need a bit more. Now he's going to try and get on it into the middle. I wouldn't have thought so. Just play it down the rail. Nothing dramatic. Not a gimme.
Normally very good with this kind of shot, but he's left this a bit awkward.
Played that very well. It's a good finish there from Ian Ali. The massive stamina matches, like first to 31s, I think they were playing. It's a long it's a long day, night out at playing pool. I think I could cope with any of that.
Yeah, it's a long night of playing, and the crowd's normally fairly well refreshed by the end of it, so it's quite a lively atmosphere.
Yeah, endurance pool.
It's a skill set though, and it's a skill set that does translate to tournaments, because even though he's not going to play any best of 31s in this event, he is going to play that aggregate number of frames over the course of a day.
Extension call.
All the players that came through the group stages played 5 race to 6s, so plenty of pool early on, and then we've been playing race to 8s in the knockout stages. Both players struggling to get into this 4th frame so far. Jordan with a good chance now though. Doesn't always have the most precise cue ball. Such a good potter, it usually doesn't matter too much. Left himself more angle than he wanted on the ball to the left centre, so you have to travel around with a cue ball now. Just a bit delicate, the situation around the left-hand middle pocket. Just going to make sure he takes the balls in the right order.
Just want to put this one in the centre now. Just slide the cue ball down behind the black. There you go. That's where he wants to be. Do him. Be careful not to overrun. I was just going to say, this is his only thing if he does, because he's cushed up and you guaranteed some top spin on this cue ball now.
Yeah, I was going to say much the same. He wants to be as straight as possible on the last red. He's not going to be able to just drop this in now. Is he going to have to try and play a cannon, or can he get off the cushion and still leave
I think
a
he's
shot
looking
at the
to see if he can. Right, it's either he's going to cut this in and try and bump the black towards that corner, or try and drop it in dead weight. I think bumping the black's the better shot. Played that very well. Got his angle bang on, and this for 2-2.
Good clearance. Good standard from both players so far.
It's certainly not easy when you've been sat in your chair for a few frames.
Yeah, that's exactly the issue, isn't it? It's just a bit cold now.
Yeah.
Horrible miss as well, because he knew he was going to leave Jordan right in amongst the yellows if the ball didn't go in. Right now, it's all looking like things are tipping towards the Welshman.
Played that perfectly.
He's playing some good stuff here. It's just looked pretty purposeful. He's had to chase a few of the finishes around a bit, but
Come too far. Do you know what? I'd have been half tempted to come all the way down the table and play the one at the bottom for next. You know, even if you, at the worst case scenario, you left yourself dead straight on it, you're leaving a long yellow into the corner. If you get any type of angle, you can get yourself up a little bit, and I think that was just a better shot. Because this is always the risk, because this shot's now is ridiculously tough.
yeah, these ones cutting them along the cushions are horrible. You just couldn't get any closer. That previous shot, though, to your point, there wasn't actually a big margin for error to land nicely on that ball.
No, you know, even if you land perfectly, you've still got to steer the cue ball through the gap of the reds as well. You could also land straight on that ball and have a tough black, but my word, he's potted a great ball though. Well, got to give me his due, because that is some cut.
Yeah, made to look very easy.
Yeah.
Very difficult. You can have a number of goes at that shot and not make it. That's a good shot. Brought the black with him as well, which helped.
Yeah. Where's the cue ball going?
Well, right now, this is all going the right way. Look again at this shot. What a fantastic cut.
Yeah, brilliant shot.
3. That's the first bit done. Yellow ball in the corner, yellow ball in the centre. Oh, look how these are finished.
Well, he's managed to get 3 yellows. Not on, well, it's a very thin cut. But the one that's near the black, surely got to take reds. And he is taking reds.
Well, this match could be over pretty quickly from here. It's been a tough morning tough afternoon now for Ian Alley.
He's tried to get on the red that's next to the black, and I'll tell you what, I think he's gone like half an inch too far. I don't think he can get through to it.
That's a bit careless from where he was.
It was very careless, considering this is to win the match.
That's the only thing that can really stop him. If he takes that red out of the way, all the others are in open positions at the top. But now he's got to come back for it.
Played another loose one as well. He's short.
Well, Ian Alley can't have expected to get another shot at the table, but his odds of doing so are increasing now. I don't think Jordan can believe that he started off with a clearance as simple as this, and 2 balls in, he's now having to consider either pulling out a big shot or even bailing out altogether.
He's going for the double. And gets the double. Back in position.
Jordan just couldn't cope with the idea of bailing out of that clearance. It just seemed too good a chance.
Well, it's all about getting on the red that's next to the black. That's the only thing that's going to pose him a problem now, unless there's another short one.
He's got an angle to play a cannon onto the yellow if he wants it, just above the red that we're talking about. Does he want to risk that, or is he just going to try and drop through?
Played it well. Bit too much angle. Left him in straighter. Does he really pump this in and go around the angles? He does. It's short, slightly, but he'll take it. This black to win the match and progress to the quarterfinals for Jordan Shepherd.
And it's down. He's been the better of the 2 players. Ian Alley hasn't done a lot wrong, but it's just been a few scrappy moments in the match. He's hung a couple of balls over pockets and played 1 or 2 loose safety shots. Jordan lets out.
Won that one 10-8. So the most recent meeting, it was TC who got the better of Decky.
Not like Tom to break well.
He wasn't against Dylan though, so
No?
he'll be pleased to see that one get up. Yeah, I'm sure you had other things to think about in the first match of this morning session, but Tom came through a crazy match against.
I seen
against
the end
Dylan
of it
Leary.
from Dylan missed 2 chances at 6-5. I seen that.
Well, if that's where you're at, you might think, oh, it's close game, but yeah, if you weren't with us earlier, like Jordan, I'll run you through. It was a crazy finish. Dylan had a fabulous chance to win the match at 6-all.
Yeah.
To the table, 2 minutes left, and ran out of position on his penultimate red. So was forced into taking a long red, missed it, and Tom had a minute to clear the table. He had a couple of loose positional shots himself, which meant he had to pull out big pots.
Yeah,
and did
made
so.
a good pot, didn't he?
Yeah.
The long, well, could call it long, but yeah, the long yellow.
Yeah, fabulous shot, and won it with 4 seconds to spare. It was a crazy finish to a really weird match. It's one that I know Dylan well. I felt for him a little bit. It's one that as a player, Jordan, you're going to have them every now and then where you just know you really, really should have won the game. Had all the chances.
Yeah, they sting a lot. Them.
especially against someone like Tom, who you can't rely on that happening all the time, where you get the lion's share of the chances. Tom is feeding off scraps, really.
Yeah, he's a big fish to let off the hook, isn't he?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. So Tom, the one that got away for Dylan Leary, and he starts off with a break-in run against Declan Brennan here, by his own admission. And then by the Saturday, he got warm, and all of a sudden he took out Connor Tracy 8-7, who topped a group containing basically 5 other professionals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Declan's gone to the cut break there, and I mean,
Wow.
it might be the best cut break I've ever seen.
Possibly.
But I wonder what he was just conversing with our referee with there, because he lined his cue up down the middle of the table, had a little look at the front ball, and had a little word with the referee. Not too sure what was said.
Yeah.
The referee said, "Well, you play it as it lies," and Declan immediately went over to the cut break.
Balls are low, I think.
But he'll be thinking, well, why haven't I been doing that?
Keep them low.
I mean, that's you can't hit a better cut break than that.
No. He'll feel a bit hard done by though, because the blacks are touch safe and the reds are all on the pockets. She's gonna have to go yellows for that. For that reason.
Yeah, slightly rushed that first shot. Sort of just played an area.
Yeah.
So his big question is the yellow on the left side rail.
Double.
The rest all sort of takes care of itself. You're all saying double.
Roll this yellow. He's just leaving. I think that looking to see where he leaves the white. Be interesting to see if Tom goes to the side break after seeing that then.
But it's a funny thing, because they weren't struggling with making splits.
Yeah.
It was just they were struggling for the cue ball.
Yeah.
So it's not like we've seen loads of dry breaks.
Yeah.
We've actually seen some pretty big ones. They've just been making the cue ball as well. A strange game on the break so far. It's nicely played.
Shot. Good shot.
Well, we're coming into 33 minutes left. I think we're about to be 3-3 on the scoreboard and the match clock as well. One mistake so far, and it's come from Tom Cousins' chair.
I'm going to put you on the spot here, Stephen. Who's you winning in this match?
It's going to come down to a moment, and I don't know who's going to get the other side that moment. It's a pick'em game, and you know that's why you put me on the spot. No surprise to see loads of time left on the match clock. This isn't going to be like Tom's earlier match, which came down to a buzzer beater. Tom put a bit extra into that one.
Yeah, he didn't catch them nice either, but they've all come out. Bit fortunate there for me.
Yeah, close to that middle pocket, wasn't he?
Yeah. But he gets so much power through the pack. Frightening. Chose to move it early. Nice shot. He's away again, yeah. Wiped his feet.
Yeah, he's okay though.
Yeah. not been a bad standard, Steve.
It hasn't. It's been very, very good.
It's what obviously it's what you expect from these pair, but still.
You'd think they might every now and then have
Chuck
have a match off, but
Mm.
they just bring such a high level out of each other. I mentioned at the start, there's not many players who have a record of Tom Cousins like Declan Brennan does. In fact, I'll just say it, no one does. And you know, when you've got a player who has that record against you, both are aware of it. You just giving me a look that says, no, I do. I'm all right.
No, that is not. It's not same as Declan's. I don't think. I think he's gone away from that cup break.
He has been flawless as well in open table. He's yet to make a mistake in open table.
Tom's made 2 and he's 7-4 up.
Yeah. Daft game, isn't it?
Mad game.
Crunching break. Bestie's hit all match. Deserves a ball, gets a ball.
Yeah, he deserves them from there, doesn't he? Played Christoph yesterday and it was 6-all, and I genuinely couldn't believe how I was 6-all.
What, good, bad?
No, I'd only made one mistake. I missed a skill shot on the 8 ball. That was the only thing I'd done wrong. Just couldn't get a ball off the break. I think Christoph made 4 or 5 mistakes and it was 6-all.
Oh, he's trying desperately to hold that cue ball there.
Yeah, he just touched that red as well, and he pushed the yellow on the red. Touch more work to do now.
Yes, this is a tricky layout. I think he can
Go after him now.
Yeah, he's got a nice angle here on this red to bottom left.
Check side to throw the white wider. Yeah, nice bit of inside English there.
Well, his big shot is still to develop the 8 ball.
Yeah, I think it's easy enough though.
It's just one that it's not
Depends
guaranteed to come out nice.
Yeah, it depends when he plays it, doesn't it?
This is one of those where, for me, this isn't
Gimme.
any slight on Deck's ability at all, but this is just a way of going about things. Just in the way that they see the game, I reckon Tom Cousins has already broken the 8 ball out by now.
Well, Deck's going now. Yeah, I like playing it now. Because if you leave it to last, you're not guaranteed to get on the 8 properly. Perfect.
Yeah, it's okay.
Gone a bit far with the white. I think he wanted to be on this red. That's next to the yellow. A little bit of a reroute, maybe.
Yeah, he's got quite nice access, I think, to the one on the side rail now, though. Yeah, I don't think there's any attempt to play into that. He's
Yeah, actually played a better. That's a lot better shot than it looked.
yeah, really nice.
I wasn't sure what he was doing, but then yeah, played it lovely. Fair play to him. Yeah, just take his medicine.
Knows the 8 ball's waiting for him.
And this kind of shot, it is. I think it's tougher to miss it than pot it, because you give the bag so much chance.
Pots it really clean, though.
Well, that's in on any table.
Yeah. Yeah, another confident and well executed
Good
finish
finish.
from Declan Brennan. He's had 5 chances, he's taken all 5.
Ooh.
Declan Brennan's prayers are answered.
Yeah, big time.
Someone's paying attention.
He'd have loved to be on this yellow
Mm.
in the kitchen.
Yeah, he absolutely would have. Would make things a touch easier.
Does he go red instead because of that?
You can make a case.
Yeah, I think he does. He's sizing up for the red anyway.
First shot needs queuing in.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, he's missed that by a mile.
Didn't see that coming. That was a bit of a quick one, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm really surprised, mind. It's the first mistake Declan's made, and it is a big one.
Yeah.
Just didn't see it coming at
No.
all. Usually so reliable.
Yeah, because he hits the ball very well, doesn't he? If you didn't expect him to put one in like that. Go reds here, play the red on the baulk line, bring the red off the cushion, and then leave the angle on the red to go after his bad red. Perfect. You would like that red to go a touch further down, because when he plays the split, then you've got a choice of the 2 balls to land on. So he'd probably play this at a touch more pace than he would have liked. No. Work to be done.
That's not the best shot he's played.
That's why I like going in harder there. So you got to give the white chance to get out, and then you got more balls to land on then.
Yeah, it's the plan. Played it pretty well. He's just about done enough of that red and yellow so he can have access to the red to top left now.
He has to play the other red, doesn't he? Just leave that the red to the red in baulk to the last. Just tough to get out, yeah. Shot. Touch far, but he's okay. Would like to be straight there.
Yeah, just didn't quite check the cue ball enough to keep it low, but as you say...
Because how well he hit the ball then.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, not perfect, but anything but straight there.
He's got a lovely angle here, TC.
Yeah, just queuing over the yellow, just...
It's where it helps that he's a big guy.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's awkward, but he's such a solid...
Yeah, his hand...
just man in general, that those sorts of shots are a bit easier than...
Yeah, walk in the park.
Yeah.
They can be a bit twitchy, them. You can stick your arm in one, but...
Yeah, job
very
done.
well played, though.
He has made a couple of mistakes as Tom Cousins, but he has also played some brilliant stuff. And he goes 2 in a row against Declan Brennan, who was his voodoo player. But Tom Cousins is reversing that just like he is.
Normally has one of the best breaks in the game to Shane Thompson. Not a bad start. Red's obviously going to be the colour of choice. Probably just hoping to clip the yellow above the red bottom right, just free up the space around there. Now coming around to see where he'd have to be to get on the red. The number 1 ranked player for the first season of Ultimate Pool was Shane Thompson, winning 3 titles out in this arena. Should have plenty of happy memories.
Looked very impressive yesterday when he was playing. I have to say, it looked a lot more like the old Shane. Of course, we mentioned he's been out in the US as well, playing Ultimate Pool USA. He was out in Louisiana and in Kansas City. happy with that red there. The pace more than anything kept that red out. So Scott Gillespie, Goobsy at the table.
Scott's already had one finals appearance this season, right up to Tom Cousins in the British Open a little while back. So yeah, a pretty good season generally, up to 14th provisionally in the rankings. He's been such a consistent performer over the last 4 years. His ranking's been 13, 19, 19, 14. Tells you how steady he is as a player. Definitely recapturing some of his best form this season after maybe a slightly leaner spell by his own high standards. Shane Thompson, it's kind of been the opposite. He's had a very good run for so much of the last 2 or 3 years, but just had a slightly leaner spell in the last few months. This is already Shane's best ultimate pool performance this season. Prior to this, he'd had 3 last 32s, but no really deep runs to speak of. This run will help arrest the slip down the rankings that would come with not making any deep runs otherwise.
Well, Scott wanted to knock that red in and played a loss of turn there, leave Shane stuck behind the yellow. But the red didn't drop, much to Scott's disappointment.
Yeah, big difference if that ball goes. Even though Shane can't do anything here, Scott still got a problem where that red stays on the table.
Well, he can go game here now as well. And Thompson, long red into the bottom right hand corner.
Hard to judge these shots when the cue ball's so close. If you can make this pot though, he'll be in good shape. Heart of the pocket.
Just look at the position if he's got onto that red as well, that's on the right hand side.
Yeah, it'd be such a bonus if he has got that gap, because then he doesn't have to come back looking for that ball.
No, if he's having to play the one over the bag, it's very hard to judge the weight of the screw shot. So if he is on it, which he seems to be, it'll make life easier for Thompson. He's going to try and bring the cue ball up into the middle of the table and play the black in the same bag. Wonder either that or going into the left hand middle. Superb cueing that is. I mean, that's dead straight line screw back. Cue ball on a bit of string for Shane Thompson. And down goes the black. And Thompson takes the early lead.
He's done the first bit. Got a ball potted, got a decent layout, and he's got the cue ball in open play. The easiest starting shots are all going to be on reds. He's got 2 yellows he could cut back if he wants, but reds look like they'd serve him better. That's alright, ideally would have knocked that red a bit further off the cushion that he cannoned into, but shouldn't be any kind of issue. Really wants to get started here. Never want to be slipping 4-0 behind in a match. I think we'll see him take his time a bit with this clearance. He knows the importance of it. landed nicely on the ball up the left rail. Got a good angle to pot it and get back into open play. Just a case of finding the right gap through these balls in the middle of the table. One of those patterns that's really easy to unlock if you're in position, or an absolute mess if you're off angle. So playing for the long straight one or just off straight one to the bottom right corner. Try and play a cannon onto the yellow that's just to the left of the ball he's potting, and will hold position.
That's pretty much perfect.
Anywhere close to straight was perfect, so you can just run the cue ball through. Good reply this. Frozen away from the table for a while. Needed to make something happen. And steps up with the breaking clearance. Oh, the good standard of play continues. Shane Thompson break continues to deliver. Shane needs it to deliver as well, because he's seen this lead completely evaporate. Got to go again from the start, try and open up a gap. Neither of these players would have expected anything different. They're very evenly matched players. Either result is possible, and a close result the most likely. Closer to that yellow than he was hoping to. Don't know if there's enough of a gap that he can still slice it in. Slightly off angle. The way it's pointing is towards the jaw, so you'd have to clip it very thin down the table. May have to reroute and look for a different pot. Well, tries to play yellow off cushion and off black into the pocket, but misses the last bit.
Little shaking head there from Shane. He's got himself a little bit stuck in the mud in the last couple of frames, isn't he? You know, he started off, he was immaculate. And it's just sort of, it's gone a little bit bitty for him.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he's really enjoying where he's finished up either. He's one of those players that prefers to just get in and run the frames out. Sometimes does look a bit disappointed when he gets ground into a match like this.
Yeah, there's a fluency to Shane when he gets going, and it's, you know, it's a very nice cue action, and just the way he glides around the table. But sort of Scott's now got him sort of out of tune.
Yeah, that's the right way of putting it. He's no quitter though, Shane. He can sometimes look a bit disappointed in his chair, but he's very good at fighting his way back in. He'll give it 100% till the end.
Well, as with them all now in these latter stages of these players, they've all been around a long time, and they've all had comebacks, or had somebody come back against them, so they know it's all feasible.
A couple of missed pots today from Scott. Jawed one in the opposite pocket. That one wasn't as close.
Yeah, just got a bit of a thick contact to try to just play off that yellow.
Shane obviously thinks he can just find a gap round the red.
Oops. Well, I thought he could get past. And
Well,
Shane obviously thought he could get past, so he wouldn't have played it.
options a bit limited in terms of what Scott can hit, but that doesn't bother him too much because all the other reds are in decent spots.
Well, if we could play the red thin enough to pot in that corner so it kicks the yellow away and out.
He can, but he's going to resign himself to just not using that pocket anymore. Play the one that's to the right of the two yellows to the left middle. The ball that's above the left-hand centre is quite tight to the jaw. If it does drop in, it only just drop in. That's what he's coming to look at. You'd want to be right behind it if you were playing that shot. It's also slightly too far past the pocket, I think, to play red off red. Don't think he can risk doing that here. We'll see from the way he plays this shot how accessible he thinks that ball near the pocket is. Oh, he could play red off red, but it's going to be hard to deal it more than a glancing blow. He's shaking his head. It's not a terrible outcome. He can play position on it on the left rail. Black is obviously a cause for some concern because it doesn't have an easy pocket. Shane risk moving the ball, or is he just going to screw in behind it? Well, he's done neither.
Well, that's disaster. Not touching, as you can see there from that camera angle. You can't skim double it. Well, oh, you can skim double it. My word, and that was played in complete frustration. I didn't think the red would get past the yellow.
That's a remarkable shot. I didn't think
Well,
for a second that went.
And he's got a cut into the bottom right hand corner.
That's an insane shot. He's got to come up with another one though.
Oh, he's got it. Oh, what a finish from Scott Gillespie. And he holds his hand up to Shane Thompson because I'm telling you now, when he played that red, that cross double, that was in a bit of temper. Just under 15 minutes left on the match clock. Shane trails by 2. And that is not what the doctor ordered for Shane Thompson.
And the wheels have come off Shane's campaign in a way you couldn't really have imagined. Wasn't all his fault, to be fair. There was that frame which Scott won from a position you wouldn't expect. But
Not just the wheels, the chassis gone as well, the whole lot.
and as the time ticks down, every frame is starting to become bigger. If it does go 6-3, he's not going to be out of it there, but he's going to be very much in the last chance to live.
6-3 is big for Scott, because let's just say there's going to be, what, at least 2.5, I'm going to say 2 minutes gone. So you're looking at around 12 minutes then, and a 3-frame lead. You know, that's a healthy little. And also, you've got 2 breaks before Shane's only got 1, because Shane's just gone off. So you know you have to factor that into it as well. And if Scott gets these, he puts himself in a very, very strong position.
Had a look through this gap a couple of times with ball in hand. Decided he preferred to go the other way, so he's just played for the gap.
Well, you can get through there. There's no problem. It's just a shot now, just judging the right weight on this screw shot. You can afford to come too far here. We didn't even bother going anywhere really. I don't blame him because it's a simple red at the bottom, but I think it's probably more problems the further he came down. I'd have probably just played. I'd like to come down in the gap and play the one in the middle. That would have been my, because immediately when I looked at it, that was my way in the 2 balls in the corners.
Yeah, the problem with leaving that ball, although it was safer to guarantee that shot, it was the positional shot where he's ended up that was always going to be a little awkward. He's ended up okay here. I think he can drag this in with a bit of side and hold for the ball to the middle.
He's played that very well because that can slide. He played a check side, and I think he's got a pretty good angle where he can pop this into the middle and just screw straight back to that side rail or anywhere in that direction, and it should leave himself a simple black. Well, this is 6-3. 6 in a row against Shane Thompson from 3-0 down. Unheard of.
Yeah, this has been a turnaround to rival any of the ones we've seen so far in this tournament. Scott Gillespie gets the job done and opens up that 3-frame lead. So Shane Thompson has got to win all 5 of the remaining frames, or at least 4 to take us to a 6-red shootout. And he's come up dry again. Well, I say again, he has potted off a few of his breaks, but he's come up dry at a bad moment. And that is not going to help his mood. Gotta like the position of the reds from here. Well, that could have gone wrong, but that's fine.
Well, Scott now has the balls here just to take out the match and have done with it now.
Yeah, he'll want to do that, even though he knows he's pretty much won the match already. No massive pressure, but just like to get it put to bed.
I think Shane Thompson will be happy for him to run it out now. I think he's had enough.
Yeah, it's always a bit painful having to contest the last few minutes of a match that you know that you've almost certainly lost. If you're still in with a realistic chance, obviously you're excited, but it's almost too far behind for it to be feasible to get back in.
I'll take out these 2 reds at the top. Red ball waited to be potted last of the colours. Gives him very easy position onto the black. Been good from Scott Gillespie, though, from 3-0 down.
Yeah, it really has. He's had a little bit of help along the way, and he did pull out that slightly surprising finish.
I think that was the big thing, that flicked red when he was frustrated. I think that, because that really hurt Shane as well. You know, that was a real kick in the guts for Shane Thompson.
So this 8-ball for Scott Gillespie to book his place in tonight's semi-final.
A date with Tom Cousins.
And the 8-ball is down. Shane Thompson won the first 3 frames in that match. Scott Gillespie won the next 8. What a remarkable comeback, and what a strong performance he put in towards the end of that match.
Scott, of course, part of the England side at the World Championships this year. Lucky, well, we shall see. Not so lucky off that break. Sheppy will like the look of those yellows. Well, that one just wriggled in. Taking the cue ball off 2 rails here, Jordan. It's all very smooth for the Welshman. Pretty clinical start by Jordan Shepherd of Scott Pope's dry break, and he draws first blood. But can he continue and produce time after time in a longish match? Because that's what it takes to win these events. Well, his break's helping him. Jordan Shepherd must be looking and say, well, why can't I break like this? Everybody else seems to be breaking well. It's not fair. You want to be playing this red just below him on the right here, and he can leave himself the red that's on the front ball spot from break off just there, like the pink spots if you like. He'll want that in the top left hand corner, so you want to get fairly straight on that, and then leave the red over the back till last. Easy position onto the black into the middle. That will do him. You sort of stun this firmly into the yellow that's on the right. Just holds the cue ball nicely. In it goes. It's going to be a breaking out from Scott Pope. Pope's been class here.
He has.
I'll be singing in Vatican City tonight.
Yeah, lovely finish. He's here to play. He really is. Scott Pope to break then. In this, the final frame.
Well, I'll be giving it some rocks now off this break.
He's cut breaking.
He is. Wow.
He's made the 8 balls. He made another ball.
He hasn't.
He hasn't. And Jordan Shepherd gets first go at these. A reminder of the rules in case you need it. If just the 8 ball goes in and the golden break isn't in play, the 8 ball gets respotted and you lose your right to come to the table first. So it's Jordan Shepherd to the table. Now, I say this every time it happens. It is very rare. It's not a rule that I'm particularly fond of. It'd be my only change in international rules, this, yeah. Because for me, Scott Pope is breaking into a pack of 15 balls and he just wants to make one of them. He's not discerning which colour it is. I think it feels cruel for him to make a ball and not have first go. I can see the other side of it. It's just how I think.
So you changed that rule. The black will come up, but you still get to keep the table.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can see why people wouldn't like that, but yeah, I think it's, especially in this scenario, I feel like it's a pretty tough punishment. Jordan Shepherd has one big problem red. The 8 ball no longer is a problem.
He's certainly going game. I'll tell you what, he could cut this red that's just above the cue ball now into that top right corner and go straight into red and yellow on that rail. played it. He's refused it. I'm sure he saw it.
He must have another plan.
Well, you're not going to pot these 3 loose balls and then leave yourself snookered on that last one, surely.
Yeah.
Does he think you can?
Oh, I'd love
He's
to
going
know.
to play the same shot. If you're going to play, you would have played it the first time round. I don't know. Surely he doesn't think he plants or anything, does he? Well, I thought he. Well, if you're going to play it, why not play it when there's a couple of balls you could land on as well?
Yeah, the whole match comes down to this shot, really. Misses it. Does he fluke anything? No. But he's tied a yellow and the 8 ball up. Jordan Shepherd's first mistake for 4 frames.
I wonder, the first time he was on it, he could have played a nice slow roll cut into there. J-Mo in part of the red and just rolled into those two balls and had that there, and I don't know.
Scott Pope immediately calls his extension.
Oh no.
Oh, now then. Now then.
Not only that, he's left him an angle here to get into black and yellow. Off there's one at the bottom. It all depends if he can land on the on the red over the bag. There's a lot of.
Oh, this is getting touchy.
He's going. We got to go. Oh no, he's not. Okay then.
Oh, this is interesting.
Well, it is because the loss and turn. Where'd you play it? I'm trying to look now where Scott plays the loss of turn. He's got to play it. He wanted to be an angle, so you play the one that's next to the red and put the cue ball stuck to the yellow on the top rail. That's where you play the loss of turn and leave Jordan snookered. So he wanted to have a bit of an angle here. He can't play the screw shot over. Can he get it over enough? I don't know if I don't think he's got it.
I think Jordan Shepherd's going to have a shot here.
I do. He's come out and look at the black.
He's got a line.
It's a little swerve.
Oh, wow. Ball in hands, disaster.
Just felt we should have played it pacier. When there's a lot going on, it's 7-all.
I'm a little surprised to see Scott not try and go game there.
Especially when it's already happened to him once before in this match, isn't it? With the black ball.
Oh, that was close.
And that red's in a decent spot there. It goes corner, goes middle, depending where. We got to go game. He has to go. He's going.
Is it enough?
Still made it enough where it's going to be tweaky.
Well, he's got the same issue he had before. The yellow only goes off a double, really.
It does sneak it, but you'd want to be right behind it if you're going to sneak it into the middle.
Has Jordan Shepherd played his last shot? Can Scott Pope hold himself together? This has been a drama-filled match.
Well, he's not going to have time to think about anything, Scott, because at the end of the day, we are down to the 15 seconds of shot anyway, so if there's time to worry, he hasn't got it.
I bet the heart's going at 1,000,000 miles an hour, though.
He's going to bump the yellow safe.
Oh, wowee. Yet more twists and turns. That is just about the worst thing that could have happened.
Has to flick off it and put the cue ball on the bottom rail. Has to. Okay, but it's still leaving it there.
Yeah, that's just a containing shot.
Yeah, I know, but
Nothing's been gained from that, so
No.
Jordan Shepherd's going to try and seize an advantage.
Yeah, Jordan will take that. See if Jordan can get part his ball and get behind the black, he can play the snooker.
Oh, we've got some fun and games coming here, folks.
Oh, we have. Right. Jordan now, he has to go with this. He tries to pot this, screw the cue ball back, and then he can tap into the black ball.
Yeah, he's left this. It's a hell of a shot, but it's on.
Oh. Oh!
Oh, it's all
on here.
happening.
And look where the red's gone. The red's in a nightmare position for Jordan.
Scott's got a free go at this shot.
He has.
If he tops forward, he's got a free go at this yellow at the rail.
He's screwing back. Oh, he's played to the safety. That's a great shot. Played that. He did. He played it.
It's touchy-feely, isn't it?
Still with a yellow on the rail. It's not as if they're all taps, is it?
I
Jordan
feel
has to hit
nervous here,
this.
Tony.
Has to hit it.
He's
But
not
fouled.
He's not hit a cushion after contact. That should be that.
Why play it so soft? I ought to give it some stick. Jordan did not want ball in hand.
There's going to be a couple of pressure pots to make here for Scott Pope, but make them and he's into a semi-final.
I think with the red where it is, I think there's a little bit, be slightly relaxed. That's in.
This for the semi. In it goes, and Scott Pope is absolutely buzzing with that one. You could hear the release as that 8-ball fell in. And that is a super, super performance from Scott Pope. An 8-7 victory. And that final frame had a little bit of everything. Wow!
It is Jack Wheeland that has won the lag and gets underway. Same format as we've seen for the other quarterfinals. Race to 8, 50 minutes on the match clock, 30 seconds on the shot clock.
And that right there is why I think Jack Wheeland has the best break in the world.
Yeah, plenty would agree with you, and I'd certainly say it's one of the best, if not the best. That conversation always rumbles on, but Jack's maybe just got that bit more consistency over some of the other contenders for that title.
His cue ball is just so repeatable when he's, and it sounds a bit trite to say because we're in a quarter-final, but it's a really dangerous time to play Jack now. He's had 2 days of this tournament and he's found his form and he's really got into his rhythm. He plays so much outside of Ultimate Pool. He's a real gamer. Plays so many different tournaments.
Loss of turn.
And it takes him a little bit of time just to adapt back into English 8-ball because of its unique nature, particularly the lighter cue ball. So it takes him a little while just to tap into that sort of muscle memory and figure it all out. But he's done that now. He's there and he's ready to go and win another tournament. But he has just made a small mistake there. It was a legal shot, but he potted
Extension call.
the other suit, so just a loss of turn. And Aaron Davies is going to get a poke in this first frame. Must say, it's great to see Aaron back at the business end of a tournament. It's been too long.
Yeah, so many players in that category out there that you can't quite understand why they haven't had a result for a while. It's just a tough school out there. If he doesn't get through that deciding frame in the last 32, it probably ends up as not a very good weekend for him. Got through that, won one more match, now he's in the quarterfinals and got a very realistic chance of winning this tournament.
Yeah, there was a point where, a couple of years ago now, where Aaron was sort of really knocking on the door. He had a couple of finals and a couple of semi-finals, and it was starting to become a little bit of a when, not an if. But he's just sort of faded away a little bit since then, and I think lots sort of going on and just sort of faded into the background a touch. But now into a quarter-final and playing really well, and a good chance for him to make a bit of a statement here and get himself right in the mix again.
Sometimes hard to know what's changed. He's quite a professional guy in demeanour and approach to the game. It wasn't like he wasn't giving the game proper respect.
Well, you know what it's like, Mark. We talked about it with Declan Brennan earlier. Sometimes you can just have, you can do nothing wrong, but you just have almost a bit of a fallow time of it, 'cause just not quite getting the rub of the green going your way. And when it becomes consistent, then maybe the level drops, hard to pick up again, and it becomes a confidence issue more than anything else.
Well, yeah, you cease to enjoy going to tournaments because you're expecting to lose in the early rounds, and then in turn you maybe just not striking the ball as well, or just something changes. Jack Wheeland hasn't had too many of those fallow moments, although he does hold himself to a very high standard. I mean, his progress through the group was pretty good. 1 5 from 5, but When we talked to him at one stage after one of his closer matches, he didn't seem very happy with his performance.
Yeah, that's what I mean when I say early stage of the tournament is the best time to play Jack, because you're more likely to get the sort of errors that you very, very rarely see. Although, put the jinx on him there, I mean, that is something you never see.
Yeah, he missed that ball by quite a long way as well.
I'm blown away by that one.
It's a bit distracting when you're the opponent. You're just not expecting that, but obviously you've got to be grateful for the chance you're given.
Well, both players have made at least one mistake in this opening frame. Jack's made two.
It's not a stat you would expect at all. The winner of this match will play the winner of the last quarter-final. We just watched go to that tense deciding frame. Scott Pope running or falling over the line, depending on how you look at it. Good chance both of these players are going to be feeling. Scott Pope is clearly the outsider of the 8 quarter-finalists. Now he's through to that semi-final. He's obviously high on confidence, albeit made slightly heavy work of the end of that match. Nice chance this for Aaron. Not one he was expecting to have.
To tell you what you can get.
He was really ruthless in that phase a couple of years ago when he was just winning every match he played in.
Trailing by 3 frames.
So Aaron Davis to break in the 6th frame. Seen his lead evaporate, and now he's just slipped the single frame behind, so he'll be wanting to make quick amends if he can. Oh, there we are, a couple of balls, third one in, so 3 yellows, 1. 3 yellows down, choice of balls obviously still. Not a perfect layout. There's often the way when you pot multiple balls. That colour set doesn't become very good because there are fewer opportunities. So he's going to switch horses and go with the reds.
Red balls in play.
A couple of different problems to negotiate. He's got the red tied up next to the 8 ball in the centre of the table. Also got the problem in the bottom left-hand corner. Thinking of bailing out of this. The kind of position that's just no real point going for the clearance if you don't have a clear path. Particularly the fact that Jack's got less balls should leave less flexibility for him in a safety battle, although his yellows are probably in slightly better spots, you'd say, at the moment. Jack just trying to understand exactly what the situation is with those balls in the middle of the table. Ideally wanted to leave that yellow in the middle of the pocket. I think one of the things he was looking at with the red and the black was whether that red could be made if you're in a specific place, or whether it could at least be pushed towards the pocket. Doesn't look like Aaron can really see enough of it from where he is.
Extension call.
Coming up to the halfway point of the match. Only 5 of a potential 15 frames played. Been a couple of quick frames, but there's been a couple that got a bit more bogged down. This one looks like it might be another one of those. It's the kind of frame that is not far away from being an open position. It would only really take one shot and then could turn things around. Conversely, from Aaron's perspective, the yellows are in decent spot, so can't really afford an unforced error while he's in the balls, because if he leaves Jack any kind of sight at a pot, that could be the end. That's a nice shot though. Judged that cannon really well. Didn't want to get too much of the black, just got a nice thin edge of it, just enough to promote that red. So now he's got a pocket for all the balls, but the two balls at the bottom of the table, the pocket is the opposite one, so I have to try and play short position on those. And having played a great shot to open up the black and red, he's going to be pretty annoyed with that. Just quit a bit on that shot. Wanted to draw the cue ball higher up the table so he could pot the ball in the centre and drop down the left hand side. Just left himself in a position where he's off angle the wrong way. So it's going to have to go the long way. How's his line? Well, not great, but not bad from where he was. He has at least got a shot. That was always going to be a tricky shot. It's amazing, if he finishes a couple of inches up the table, he could have just rolled that in and been in a much better position than this. As it was, he had to really clock the miles up.
That was difficult.
Yeah, just sort of potted himself into trouble. It was a clearance he had to go for because the yellows were in quite a nice spot. He has slightly messed them up, but if Jack can play the plant to the middle and leave the yellow that he plays over the middle pocket, he'll then be able to play around the table and drop on the two balls that are nearest the cue ball now. Well, I felt that he couldn't just play that dead weight. I thought maybe he'd just play it slow enough to leave the second yellow over the pocket. Tried to play it more positive, but not really come out as intended. Could just get the pot. It's very tight that. Just squeezed past the black. So now back in decent position, playing the shot at more distance than he wants, but if he can just pot the lower of these two yellows, we may just, if you can see the middle one, that would be top of the two yellows, that would be even easier. Negotiated that well, and now he's in good shape to complete this clearance and win a fourth frame in the row.
Yeah, it's been an impressive recovery from going 2-0 down from Jack Wheeland. 4 in a row for the wonder. And he's just starting to roll a little.
Going dry would be bad, not just because he lets Jack in with a potential chance of winning, but because it lets Jack waste some time. He's potted a ball though.
Yeah, time to dance now.
Only really the one problem as such, the ball's tied up near the middle pocket. Looking to come down the right hand side and drop on the difficult yellow. Can still pot it, but much thinner than he wanted, so not going to be able to hold the white. I have to try and screw back off the red. Well, decided just to play onto the red. That's okay because he's got the ball to the left centre. The question is though, what's he doing with the red that's the yellow that's frozen to the red?
Falls in. Is it a really thin cut back? Oh, that's clever. And it's going to fall in.
Wow, what a shot that is.
I mean, that's a hell of a dig from Aaron Davies. That really is.
Well, this is going to be a special clearance against these balls.
I should say.
Especially 7-4 down.
Yeah, to stay in the tournament. Oh, how good is this from Aaron Davies? Wowee.
Oh, that's fantastic. That is a wonderful shot he's played to open that frame up.
Oh, it couldn't, could it? It couldn't, could it?
Well, he has got time. If he clears these balls up, takes a couple of minutes about it, it'll be his break. He would have time for a clearance. Doesn't need to rush here, just needs to be absolutely sure that he makes this clearance. Cannot afford a miss.
Yeah, you've got to make sure, but I think there's some value to putting some time into the match if you can here. These are pretty nice, in all honesty. Oh, less so now.
Well,
Much less so now.
Everything going on that shot, wasn't it? Well, there is still a way. He can put the balls at the bottom of the table. The red that's next to the black, he'll have to take long to the top left-hand corner. And then he has, the one good thing that came out of that shot, he has cleared the top right-hand corner. I think he'll have to try and play on the ball to the right of the black now if he can.
Yeah. Oh, and he's not going to get there. That'll be that. That will be that. You can't see Jack Wheeland letting this one slip from here. 2.5 minutes left. He's got an extension. He'll use most of it. To be honest, if you put Jack Wheeland under the gun here and asked him to clear the balls, you'd fancy him pretty much 10 times out of 10. But even by going close, he's going to take too much time out of the match here for Aaron to have any realistic chance of winning 2 frames.
It was a long shot, but with that clearance at the end of frame 12, he gave himself a chance. It's just a victory lap now for Jack. He's going to take maximum time on each shot. It's a clearance he should make anyway. He's played well in this match, Jack. Aaron likewise, but just maybe 1 or 2 too many mistakes. Looked like he might just have found a way for the comeback, but was asking a lot in this frame. Quite get into that as much as he wanted. Ideally, he'd have probably played for the yellow on the left cushion next, but he's taking quite a lot of time about these, so that's fine, because it's not like Aaron just needs this frame, he'd need one more after this, so even if Jack inexplicably was to miss, not going to be time for that. So just 3 balls left for Jack Wheeland to book his place in tonight's semi-final. We know the first of our semi-finals will be Tom Cousins against Scott Gillespie. We now know the identity of the second one. Jack Wheeland completes an 8-5 win over Aaron Davies and books his place against Scott Pope. Good solid break as well. He's clearly been working on the break. Well, spotted one of everything here.
Oh, wowee. And that is an extraordinary start. Scott Gillespie with a little smile at the table there, as if to say, really? And the good news for Scott is Golden Duck is not in play, because if we were on a Monday night, he'd be 1-0 down. I mean, you can't hit a break any better than that. He's straight up the line in the middle of the table. He almost went in off in the middle, only to then get kicked in off at the bottom left. I mean, that's an extraordinary in off, and it gives Tom Cousins first look at the table. Good split as well, and the level of this match we're expecting to be very, very high. It's a rerun of the British Open final that we saw earlier on this year, and it was a tremendous standard. 10-8 the final score for Tom Cousins. But it was a tournament in which Scott showed us that he's back to his best. And he sort of continued really in that kind of vein. And I've said it multiple times before, but the game is in a better place when Scott Gillespie's at his best. Adds so much value. Brilliant player. Tom Cousins has lined up these reds. He showed us a great level against Declan Brennan earlier, but wasn't flawless. There's a couple of moments where Declan was allowed in, but the biggest thing that cost Deck was the break.
And the match that Tom could and probably should have lost was the last 16 against Dylan Leary, the first match we saw on this table this morning.
Yeah, he got life there, didn't he?
It was a strange match, because normally when Tom's involved in a match, it's all about Tom, but that match, you'd have to say, was almost 100% about Dylan. Dylan was in first almost every time, took out some big finishes, missed a couple, and Tom was just kind of mopping up the scraps, and then in the end was left with a unlikely position, came up with a buzzer beater with only a few seconds left on the clock.
Tom's changed his mind there. I'm almost certain Tom's changed his mind on that shot. I think his original plan was to land with the cue ball somewhere near left centre and clip this red back to then go to the right rail for the right side of the red into the bottom right. I think he's changed his mind with a few seconds left, and this has come out not very nice. Can he recover the situation? A very small gap to find here. Very small gap to find. Has he found it?
Well, that's a good effort. It's very tight, but he's got close to it. Might have to swerve the cue ball a bit. Oh, he's having a good hard look from behind. Wow, look how tight that is. I don't think you can see the potting angle. You can see the ball. I think he's going to have to play it with left-hand side to try to kick it in.
Oh. What a shot that is.
Normally when people play those shots, they have to err on the side of not hitting the ball hard to try and turn it. He's just powered it in. Oh, what a finish that was in the end from Tom Cousins.
Yeah, and it's a really strange one. It's almost like it was a problem of his own making, which we don't really see all that often. You know, some real quality players. If he is to get to the final, it will be one of the great final runs.
Yeah, getting out of that group would have been seen as a decent result. It does just show the strength in depth though. I mean, how is somebody ranked number 32 on the Challenger Tour able to play like this?
Yeah, it's a misnomer, that ranking. I mean, Scott is better than that. He's shown us already. He had a good run in the British Open, reached the last 16 there. And he had a good run in the last man standing from memory as well. Had a 3 and out from memory.
There's always a surprise package. Every tournament, somebody has some run that you're not expecting. That's the nature of it, and that's kind of the entertainment value of it.
Mm.
And it also gives everybody else hope for the lower ranked qualifiers entering. Some are here for the experience, but it's nice to see you can make a properly deep run. I've had some great storylines across the course of the weekend. The young players making their debuts. A few qualifiers who don't normally get the limelight, able to come and play out in the main match arena. But then, of course, despite all of that, we've got some established professionals like these two gentlemen who are playing to every bit as high a standard as they always do. Ideally, you'd like to play a cannon onto one of these reds at the bottom of the table at some stage. Try to play it there. It's not gone great. I don't think he's left the gap for the ball over the bottom right, so he's got a bit of a problem now. It's one of those cannons. What he didn't want to do is hit the middle red full ball, which would have been given him a wider margin for error in terms of hitting it, but would have risked just double kissing and not developing. So attempting to play at half ball is just missed. So cushion first, is it? Oh, good effort.
All right then, Scott Gillespie, what are we made of? I get the feeling that if you're going to get chances, the importance of counter clearances in a semi-final between two quality players cannot be overstated.
Yeah, the ability to counter clear consistently is so crucial to being good at pool.
It's a tough shot. He's played it with a degree of insurance. He's not left anything. And judging by where he's landed that cue ball, I think that was almost part of the plan.
Yeah, it wasn't such an easy pot that you'd have been certain of making it, and there was no real need.
It was as close to a shot to nothing as you'll probably see, really. Can Tom engineer his way back into this frame? I'm not too sure what the plan was there from TC. The outcome's pretty nice in terms of what he could reasonably have expected.
Yeah, hard one to call that. It didn't seem like there was a viable pot on. I don't know if he was just trying to get some of the reds into that area and jumble things up. That's what he's done. Ooh. That could be a bad mistake, even though the balls aren't situated great. As we see there, the man we were talking about, Scott Pope, looking on as he waits around for his semi-final to start.
A lovely shot there is in the background. You can just make out Jack Wheeland at the bar.
It's always a bit difficult when you don't quite know what time, though the next game on after this, that's the information they know. They don't know quite what time that will be.
Oh, TC's been a bit unlucky there.
Oh, what a shot he's attempted to play.
He might still have a shot. Can he cross double that?
Yeah, it's just getting the white out of the way, isn't it? But he might just be able to.
Does he even double up to the top left?
It's difficult because this ball at the bottom here really needs to play first, but then
Yeah.
not much space to get the cue ball out again. Well,
He doesn't want that to drop.
no,
He hasn't.
I think that's the right choice. It was going to be low percentage, whichever of those options we were talking about he considered trying. No real need for it.
I think Scott can fairly safely play some kind of snooker here, because his key is to really leave the one that's over the bottom right corner very accessible but snookered, so that Tom can't really control it. Yeah, that's not the end of the world there. That's all right. He doesn't mind Tom potting this one over the bottom right, because then what's he got?
The key thing about that shot was making sure that he covered the top red, because actually Tom's been clever. He's covered the bottom pocket and there's a kind of plant, so if Tom had been able to see the top red, he'd have been able to send the yellow down to pot the other one.
I think he's looking at a kind of plant here. He's looking to clip off it. Have a watch of this. Ooh, that was a great effort. That would have been a bit of a showstopper from Tom Cousins.
We don't see as much from that from him as we used to. He seems to be in such a good position. He's never chasing a finish, but he's a great shot maker when he needs to. That was so hard. It's really hard to hit the front ball thin enough that you can make a shot like that. You had to virtually miss the first red. Came valiantly close to it. Time is ticking away now. 21:55 remaining on the match clock. This maybe hasn't been quite as quick a start as we'd have expected from these two.
Well, there's just been quite a few frames where they've both had a go. And we've sort of made a big deal about how good the finishes are, but the reason why they've been so good is because they've been so impressive. They've been difficult, which has required time in its own way.
Yeah, for sure. There's certainly not been any slow play. It's just the way the match has turned out.
There's been very few sort of gimme frames that have, you know, taken 2.5, 3 minutes, sort of standard, big break, simple clearance, rack 'em up. Not really been much of that. It's been a good watch for it, but it has taken a bit of time out of the match clock.
Yeah, it's made a very entertaining watch, the fact that there's been so many, well, memorable moments and a few difficult clearances. Good chance though for Scott. And after almost half an hour of play, it looks like the players are going to be back on level terms again.
That period in 2019 where he was all conquering, he was absolutely one of the best players in the world at that stage. Suffered a somewhat almost natural lull when you factor in the pandemic and all the rest of it over the last few years, but he's back all right as Tom Cousins really throws the kitchen sink at that break. A rare sort of quite visible example of frustration from Tom Cousins there, and on the 15-second shot clock this is as close to Tom Cousins playing angry pool as you'll ever see.
Yeah, it's visibly faster. It's got to be, of course, because of the shot clock, but even notwithstanding that, he does look a little irritated with where he is, let's say. Oh, that's a good shot, though. Well, this is an easy frame added for him.
And this is what I talked about earlier. We didn't see a lot of these at the start of the match. It was just difficult, so they naturally took a little bit longer to work out and execute these sorts of finishes. A little bit more routine, although watching Tom Cousins play quick is still very, very impressive. 6-4 stops the rot. Tom Cousins has 1 minute and 50 to tie it, and he's revving up. Desperate for a ball, and Scott Gillespie breathes a huge sigh of relief.
Wasn't a good break, was it? It didn't seem to be a good contact. I don't know if it was the rack or the hit, but it didn't seem to explode as well as usual.
Scott has his extension as well here that he's not used yet. This match should be over. It's been a very good one. Really, really enjoyed it.
It's been a great match. It's everything you'd want from two players like this. A few wild card moments thrown in, some incredible clearances, some quick pull from Tom Cousins at the end. You couldn't argue with Scott being a worthy winner though. He's played some great stuff.
Yeah, that salvo near the start of the match where I think he won 6 out of 7 frames from 2-0 down. That's what's won in this one. Tom has given a very, very good account of himself just to get back into this game at all, really.
Scott now at a point where Tom hasn't got time for the counter clearance, so he can try and get these last few balls. I don't think he's actually going to make an effort, but could if he wanted to get to 8. Happy just to ride the clock out.
Yeah, it's over now, Scott. You can breathe. It's job done. And Tom Cousins is going to come forward and shake his hand. Scott Gillespie is a European Open finalist. Tom Cousins is eliminated and Scott Gillespie puffs out those cheeks with a little bit of relief. He played brilliantly but was made to sweat in the end. And Tom Cousins falls at the final hurdle before the final. Yeah, brilliant first semi-final. Now we find out whether it's going to be Scott or Jack who joins Gillespie in the grand final.
Has Scott brought that big booming break to the semis? And the answer is yes, he has. Had a fantastic win against Jordan Shepherd in the quarter-final. Well, what an incredibly dramatic match that was. Pope leading 7-3. Shepherd pinging it back to 7 apiece, and then the drama of that last frame that was toing and froing. You never knew who was going to go over the line, and Scott Pope eventually did to carry on his dream run. Ooh, that's not how he wanted to start this semi-final, with a misread. So it's Jack Wheeland, the wonder, who is at the table. Got through his quarter-final against Aaron Davis. He was 7-3 up as well at one point, and looked like it was all going to get pegged back to levels as well in that quarter-final. Didn't quite happen for Aaron. Well, I'm not sure if that yellow just to the south of that black ball passes the red into the bottom corner. If it does, should be fairly straightforward for Jack Wheeland. Just by looking at the position shot he's just played, I think it might creep in. No, it doesn't. You'll see Jack then attempt to get, well, he's gone too far up the table. I thought he was going to leave, well, try and leave the angle on the ball at the bottom just to creep the cue ball behind the yellow and the black. Well, he managed to tickle the ball in, but now he's snooking himself, so that was a annoyed Jack Wheeland who just played that shot, trying to come out the snooker. So, ball in hand for Scott Pope, this opening frame. So an untidy start to this semi-final. I'd like to be a little bit straighter on this. I mean, it shouldn't cause him too much problems, but straight would have been nicer just to pop it in and just leave the cut with the black in the middle. So just be mindful of the cue ball here. Played it very well though. And in goes the black on the opening frame, and it's Scott Pope drawing first blood.
He's been excellent.
Well, Scott Pope would love to get 2 or 3 balls off this break and run them out and get a 4-1 lead. That would ultra punishment, that would be.
Red ball's in play.
Played a combo shot. Well, you try to play the combo. It's never going to go in if you play that sort of pace. You need to sort of just hit below middle of the white and transfer the spin onto the second ball. It's more of a thump. Having said that, there is work for Jack Wheeland to do. Wow, just try to pop that into the middle and screw it in, and it's popped straight out of the middle. No, thank you, I don't want you.
Well, Scott Pope has to be feeling very, very good right now.
It's just improved Jack's yellow down there. Now, if both those reds slide past yellow, that's fine. I think they must do, because they wouldn't have played to come up here else.
It's a little kind kiss.
Flirting with a bit of danger there.
Oh, he might be in a bit of bother.
Well, he's looking at cushioning into yellow. Yes, it doesn't go clean. It doesn't go like that either. Well, a chance for Jack.
Yeah, and it's still early days, but I'd probably put this in the category of must take, really, for Jack. It's not exactly been a fantastic start. (3-2) or (4-1), big frame.
Well, he's refusing to cut down here because he'll think that he can get better position. I didn't want to knock that. The only saving grace there is he's gone far enough up past that yellows. He's got an angle to come down.
Yeah. There's a little bit of luck after a little bit of the bad luck.
Yeah, if he was straight on this, he'd be absolutely jumping. Still plenty to do.
Yeah, well, can he come down and land on it straight away? That's
He's
the
having
plan.
a go. That's gone too far. Yeah, not
Stuck to the red's horrible.
Yeah, not helping with the queuing over this red. I mean, it's a makeable pot, but you think about the pace it's going to be on that cue ball. Also, danger of in and off as well. Should he contact it incorrectly? He's made the pot. That's brilliant.
Oh, he's
There's
unlucky.
Ian off.
Yeah. Tough.
This is the thing. Because you're queuing over that red, you're automatically putting top spin on the white. You can't do anything else.
Yeah, it's a really tough one for Jack there. He had a very, very difficult yellow to play. And he's maybe overran the cue ball by a couple of inches. He's been really harsh. For those, the margins.
Well, he's gifting Scott some frames here. Well, right at the perfect time for Scott anyway. He's making his mistakes.
Yeah, true. Scott's making mistakes and he's not being punished.
No.
And that's the big thing, really. Oh.
Well, like a conveyor belt of balls going into that top left-hand corner.
Almost a cue ball as well.
Yeah.
To watch this cue ball here, it'd have been so cruel. I thought it was destined at one point, you know. But what a split, what a time to produce a break like that. Like a train disappearing down a tunnel.
Ooh. I'll tell you what, if that's,
heart in mouth time for Jack Wheeland there.
if that stayed there, he'd have had a face like a forgotten tunnel.
And you can see where he wanted to be, short. Gap to find here. And he's played that beautifully.
Great shot.
Yeah, I love the way he's judged that. Use the cushion rather than try to be too perfect.
Well, we're going back level once again.
Super stuff from Jack Wheeland. 5 all, 6.5 to play. A pretty solid coping mechanism, really. You know what you're supposed to do. But Scott Pope has had so many chances in this match. Jack Wheeland gives him one.
Snatched the cue ball off the ref. It's quite funny.
It's a soaring off that. That really is. Oh, look at the reaction from the wonder. That's what it means.
Yellow ball's in play.
Are we going 6-6?
There's going to be time for somebody to win this match without it going 6 red shootout, as I called. As Jamo puts his head down next to me, looking at the floor in disgust.
It's got a shootout-y sort of vibe, this match, hasn't it?
I'll tell you what, he's only got half that pocket with that yellow into the middle.
Yeah, this is delicate.
Yep. Played it well.
2 wants to queue in. 1.5 minutes left. We will have a deciding frame if Scott Pope can clear these 2.
Extension call.
Oh, it's holding up under pressure. Surprised to hear him call his extension.
Yeah, he's trying to eat the clock away well.
He's almost settling for a shootout.
He is. It's his break next as well. I think he's ruling out Jack Wheeland winning it rather than trying to win it himself. Do you see what I mean? Imagine if you miss this black.
Of course, yeah, this is putting yourself under it a little. Oh, and he has!
Oh,
Oh my goodness me! Imagine.
Extension call.
by the great John Lennon. Oh my, that is unbelievable. Now Jack's using this extension.
Well, yeah, because that makes complete sense.
Absolutely.
I must admit, the missing of the ball's one thing, but I think Scott put himself under unnecessary pressure there.
He knows, because he's got a tap. He can't miss this. Scott's going to shake his hand. So
Well, you've got to feel for Scott Pope. Jack Wheeland, thrilled to get through, relieved, I'm sure, to get through. Scott Pope has put together a fantastic tournament. Remember, ranked 32nd in the Challenger Series, and he has come within a whisker of qualifying through to a major open final. But there will be some pretty long-lasting, lingering regrets about how that match played out. Jack Wheeland survives one. He dodges a bullet, and he's in the European Open final with Scott Gillespie when we come back.
As we spectate on what should be a great match between Scott Gillespie and the man that has just come through that nail-biting semi-final, Jack Wheeland.
yeah, incredible drama that last semi. Not that this tournament all weekend has lacked any drama.
It really hasn't. It's been a very entertaining tournament from start to finish. Sometimes when you have a tournament with a group stage, you wonder if it's going to get off to a sluggish start, but there's been none of it. It's been close matches, comebacks, deciding frames. Mostly great standard of pool, but a few tense moments thrown in as well.
Well, you know, if anybody that watched that last semi-final there, right at the end, Scott Pope on the black to level the match. They have just over a minute, caused an extension, and stands there looking at the black for a while. You think, well, just knock it in and then try and win the match. And it looked like he was just trying to settle for a 6 red and stop Jack being able to win it with seconds, and then missed the black. Incredible. Jack comes to the table, eats at the time. Thank you very much. I'm in the final. But wow, the drama.
A heartbreaking moment for a player that was an outsider to get to this stage and had such a good run.
Yeah, he'll be having his own inquest, I think. It's such a great tournament, Scott Pope.
Yellow balls in play.
I think there'll be plenty more to come from him over the years. But anyway, it's the seasoned Jack Wheeland that has got through. He'll be playing against fellow professional Scott Gillespie.
And how will Jack react to having come through that match? Sometimes that kind of let-off gives you a second life.
Well, it would. He's bound to be quite chilled out. I would be. He's probably quite a few times during that semi-final thinking, I'm on my way home at the end of this. And here he is in the final. Scott Gillespie, the other side of the coin, had a terrific semi-final win against Tom Cousins. And he's played brilliantly all day. Well, all weekend, to be fair to him.
He's also had a bit of time to recover. Sometimes it's good to go off the table. Sometimes I guess maybe it is good just to press straight on like Jack has. That's just luck of the draw.
I'd have rather had Scott's approach. I'd have rather had an hour to chill out, have a cup of coffee, maybe go outside and have some fresh air. Whatever Scott decided to do in his break.
That's not turned out too bad. He was trying to hit the top of that, but actually coming off the cushion, he's freed it, and he has still got access to the ball at the top of the table. Fairly natural positional shot. There's a gap between the two reds at the top, so he can get access to the top cushion. White naturally coming back down. Just needs to control the pace. Rightly calling his extension, because this is the key shot in this frame. Middle of the pocket. Looks like the cue ball's just about going to hold up in time. So just one more shot to be played. Pop the ball to the bottom right. Draw the cue ball back off the right hand side cushion. And a good start so far for Jack Wheeland.
Either or for Jack Wheeler. He can just drop this in, play the black in the bottom right, or he can play it a little bit firmer and play it in the other corner. Depends what Jack fancies, and he fancies the bit of a firmer shot. and not having to walk around the table and play it into the other corner. And in it goes. And the man that's just come through the latter semi-final stays there to win the first frame of the final.
In the Ultimate Pool Pro Series for 3 seasons now. He has won a title in every season. Pro Series events in 2022 and 2024, and Pro Cup event in 23. Good chance here for his second silverware of the season. Yet again, disappointed to have hit the break pretty well and not have any results. So it's Gillespie straight back in action.
Yellow ball's in play.
Not quite as intended. Bit of traffic to negotiate on the right hand side. Might just be able to get through to the bottom ball. It's quite tight though, and it's also quite tight whether that ball even goes past the red. Well, it does. Ideally would have liked to stop short so he was on the ball to the right centre. It's obviously on the ball to the bottom left corner though. Still got one ball that's not in a great spot, the one bottom right at the moment. Oh, that's turned out well.
Yeah, I'll take that. Might have to play it next.
Yeah, might have to play it next and try and draw back for the one above it, or could draw further up the table. Wouldn't be a bad ball to remove.
I think draw it further because you give yourself a chance of 2. So if you go too far, you can play the other one. It's one of those. She's gone for trying to be precise, and it's not worked out well.
Now he's got to reroute up the table, and he's got the problem that he's slightly hampered. If he's going for the ball top right, he's slightly hampered by the red when he cues towards it. Oh, and in fact he can just about get to the right hand side of the red that he's cueing over. Difficult shot though.
Yeah, I just felt he should have pulled it up maybe in between the two there, give himself, because if he goes too far, he's closer to that ball and he doesn't miss it for a start. So
I imagine he's thinking much the same now as he sits in his chair.
probably, yeah. It's easy sat in here looking at it in the comfort of the commentary box.
Yeah, it's very different in the heat of battle, especially when you're under the time pressure of the shot clock. Oh, a shake of the head from Jack. He's just got a little cluster that's just queuing over at the moment. Both of these players will have a lot of respect for the other one's game. They'll know that it's expected to be a close match. Jack Wheeland's a few places higher in the rankings, currently 7th in the provisional rankings versus 14 for Scott. But really, once you're in the minutiae of the top 16, you're splitting hairs. They're both good players. Quite as intended there, just wanted to catch that cluster of 2 reds on his way round. Just sneaked around the back of it.
Yeah, and he sort of nudged there for Jack on those 2 reds and he'd be fine. Just drop this one into the centre. Need a lot of power into this, unless he wants to play with a load of left-hand side and spin the cue ball off the side rail and then kick those two reds apart. Looks like he's playing it plain ball. No, he got his side on. There it is. Nice shot from Wheeland.
Yeah, it was an angle that had to be made. Played that pretty well. He's going to have to load up with a bit more side as well for this shot. See him cueing the left-hand side of the cue ball. Scott Gillespie did have the first chance in this frame, but this has been a good clearance from Jack Wheeland.
Yeah, Wheeland not letting him to get too far out of his sights.
Oh, is that red going in? Yes, it is. And a yellow. Looks for a moment like he might come up dry, but actually it's turned out quite well. Good chance to get 2 frame clear.
Extension call.
All the reds have a pocket. The one that's near the left centre will pot. It's fairly tight, but won't be a problem if he's anywhere near being straight behind it. Not really too much you would foresee going wrong. There's obviously a fair bit of traffic with the 5 yellows that are tied up amongst the reds, but there's a path through all of them. You'd think he'd be keen to go left middle pocket and then take out the one to the right centre, which, although it's sort of in an open place, you can only really get to it from the top side, so this is as good as he's ever going to get on it. So this transition shot really just needs to be a bit careful. There's a wall of 3 yellows just to the left of the red that he's playing. Just doesn't want to get tangled up in any of them. That's come out pretty nice. Can get through the gap to the ball bottom left.
Yeah, he's always going to sit in that little gap there. There's, with the yellows, it's going to hold the cue ball, so it wasn't going to go too far astray. Me, I think I play the red that's in between the 2 yellows next. Of course, Scott won't play. I just think it's easier to get on the one in the middle. Can't overrun anywhere. This is okay. It's just now he's got the angle on that red at the bottom, and you've got to now come past that yellow. If you play the one in the middle, you haven't, because the other one's just dead over the bag. You can just do what you want with it. Screw back, but it won't be any problem for Scott.
He's played that well. The thing was there, he had to bring that yellow almost into play because he wanted to be fairly straight on this red. It wouldn't have helped to have a load of angle because then it would have been hard to get position. As it turns out, he's played it perfectly.
Yeah, very nice from Scott Gillespie. He gets himself 2 in front as he pushes towards trying to get his hands on this European Open title.
He does. Where's the cue ball?
Cue ball's fine.
It's safe.
Yep, that's staying on the table. Now then, Jack, what have you got up your sleeve now?
He doesn't have to be in too much of a rush. He's got time here. He just needs to make this clearance.
I'd want to be getting a move on really with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, especially where those yellows are. He's going for the reds. It's a bit scruffier than he'd like this frame. He's going to have to clatter into the 3 balls at the top of the table over the left-hand pocket. So he'll pot this, leave an angle. Wants to slow down. Right. This goes at a thunderous pace. Do not leave anything to chance. All things could go wrong here, but you've got to give it a ride.
Oh, it's not bad.
That's come out lovely. Hello. Now then.
This comeback's on, you know.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah, that's a good shot. Can leave an angle on the ball to the left centre. Drop down for the black. It will be Scott Gillespie's break next, so all hope is not lost for him.
Can he just can he run the cue ball through the gap of those two yellows so they get the cue balls not nearly on the jaw, the middle?
Oh, what a classy finish this has been from Jack Wheeland. This 8-ball to go within 1.
It's in. Well, well, well. 3 minutes just about on the clock. 1 behind. The little skip of the cue ball, customary for Gillespie's break. He's made 2 reds. He likes them.
This should be good enough for Scott. The reds are in a decent position. The yellows are in a decent position as well.
He's got to concentrate and make them now. Don't forget the clock completely now, because the finish is here. The black's the worst ball. Call his extension. Have a little gander. Screw up now, just nudge into black and yellow. He stays on the red at the bottom, opens up the pocket for the 8-ball.
Yeah, just wants a fairly full contact on the black.
He'll take that. Got a bit of the cue ball, you can see now. If he just get down and hit a little bit just below the middle, he can get the cue ball off the side rail or bottom around the angles.
Just one good pot here.
That's it. He's not going to roll this, I don't think. I think he'll just sort of soft screw it in. Oh, didn't want that clip off that yellow. He's okay. That clip off the yellow, though, just made it a little bit narrower. Got to be a bit careful. It's made the pot. Is the cue ball going to be on the yellow on the rail? Oh, Scott Gillespie, this black for the title.
And it's down. What a performance from Scott Gillespie. Jack Wheeland threw everything at him. Scott Gillespie had a chance a couple of frames ago. He let it slip. He didn't let it slip that time. He signals number 1. He's been in one final already this season. He's now won his first title of the season. What a performance. Congratulations, Scott Gillespie.
I'm going to let you lift this beautiful trophy. Enjoy the moment. Your European Open champion is Scott Gillespie.